Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our game of Dragonlance. Our party is currently exploring a mysterious elven tower that is plopped mysteriously in the middle of the northern wastes. Upon ascending this tower, which appears to be in a deconstructed, dilapidated state, where it appears to be falling apart, but is held in some sort of strange stasis. Our party is currently on the second floor, and we have just dispatched a couple horrifying rite-like ghosts, which were harassing our party by sinking to the floor and then smacking and biting at their ankles and avoiding attacks of opportunity, much to the joy of the DM. So, in this session, we will be ascending to the third floor and hopefully figuring out what the hell this tower is doing here and why the hell the tower is doing it. And with that, welcome back, everyone. You are now on the second floor of this mysterious tower, the ghosts having just been dispelled, the moonbeam dissipating and leaving you once again in a dimly lit, dilapidated room full of rubble and ruin, with dimly lit green torches casting dim light throughout the room.
Dimly.
Gimli's,
Dimly? Yeah.
that's...
We have to also defy the dungeon master here. He said we were going to go to the third floor. Let's all just like hang out on the first floor. This whole section.
The second floor. First floor, we did stuff on.
We just never leave.
He doesn't know what we're going to do.
You can't make
What is this big rock, DM?
It's true.
This giant shard of rubble appears to have fallen from the upper floor. In fact, to refresh all of our memories, I will repost the description for this room so we can better immerse ourselves once again. Heaps of rubble have fallen from the chamber's partially collapsed ceiling. The room holds 2 stone crypts, while the walls are sculpted with empty burial niches. A door stands to the southeast. Sconces on the walls shed light tinged with a faint green.
Is my specter on the map still?
I see
Yeah.
a specter
Outside, I can
there.
see it.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's just spectating.
Yeah, he's like peeking through the window.
What's the name of
Mostly
what's
what
the
he's
name
done
of the map again?
most of the times we've had them.
What's up? Do you need it shared?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Well, we should probably go make sure that there aren't just a ghost spawner in these coffins.
My map just glitched out after that, I think. Let me see, wait. I'm good, never mind.
Okay.
I would like to. You said you were looking at the coffins?
I think I'm going to. I'll look at the one that already has the lid blown off, because that seems safer.
I will look at the little burial niches.
All right. So, peering into the coffin that is already open, you see the ancient, relatively well-preserved corpse of an elf. They are adorned in what was once a lavish white robe that is embroidered with faded and aged finery. You recognize a lot of the symbology on this robe. This was once a practitioner of the High Sorcery Order.
Ooh.
Why they went after me? The white mages are always a little bit racist towards the black mages. Classist, maybe? Classist. We're gonna go with classist.
Now, Frixus, you said you were inspecting this stack of rubble on the western side of the room.
Yeah, gonna see if there's anything peeking out underneath and move some stuff aside to see if I can see deeper in.
Give me a perception check.
Alrighty. Yike.
Shifting some of the rubble around, you see that it is loosely piled where it is. There being a giant hole in the ceiling, you can imagine this is what was once the floor of the room above. You don't spy anything in particular that might have been obfuscated by the rubble, and don't find anything of interest.
Alright.
Josephine, what did you say you were doing?
Checking out the burial niches? Is that these little niches in the wall?
Yeah, there are many of them. It looks like this could have housed a great deal of entombed bodies, much like the ones in those sarcophagi, but they're all empty.
Okay.
Anyone find anything interesting?
Nothing over here.
There's a body in this one.
Oh,
we
is that
search
right?
Have we searched this coffin over here?
No.
Being a part of the order, would I be able to recognize that robe as well?
Yes, you would be able to recognize it as the white robes from your magic society. They were an order of the white, which name eludes me in this hot moment.
I literally think it is like the color.
Oh, I think they're just the color.
Yep.
There is a moon associated with each, but
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, maybe we have stumbled across the old mage tower. However, I don't remember it being this elven affiliated.
Dungeon Master, could I take a look into this coffin right here?
Yeah, peeking into that coffin will reveal yet another desiccated elven body. However, unlike the previous, this one is swathed in a robe that has withstood the test of time.
Oh. What does it look like?
It looks like a beautiful and immaculate, well-woven piece of cloth that drapes over the shoulders and around the body. It does have a softly ephemeral shimmer of blue.
Oh, Phrixus, look. This one has a robe intact. It's immaculate. It shimmers almost.
Most likely a magic item, then. Anyone have identifier handy?
no.
That's probably something we should invest in.
I am not skilled in such magics, no.
I do have detect magic as a ritual, though, so we can see if it is in fact magic.
Well, judging by its condition, I think that you might not have to waste the spell slot necessary.
Well, it's not spell slots, just 10 minutes.
Oh, I see. Ritual spell.
Yeah.
Well,
It would reveal the kind of magic that we're working with.
also might be useful to have walking around this tower, now knowing that it might be that.
Yes, Alafi, continue with your ritual.
Alright. Guess I'll start making some sort of constellation with bits of rubble.
I will watch intrigued as to how Alafi casts this spell, since I also have it.
Alright, well, 10 minutes will pass, and you will be able to cast your ritual uninterrupted, and you will be able to detect magic within this room. Several sources of conjuration throughout the room, as well as a distinct presence of enchantment magic. this magic emanating from the robe.
Well, does it seem safe to touch?
Well, it's enchantment magic, so who knows?
There's always a risk with these kinds of things.
Drag, touch it.
I touch it.
You touch the robes, nothing happens. Though you do hear the slight crinkle of overly dry skin beneath.
Robe seems fine. I don't think it's cursed
Well,
or vexed.
shall we recover it as an artifact then?
I think we should.
And if it does curse one of you, I do have an answer for that.
Excellent. Well, here, Thrag, I'll help you get this off. Be respectful of the dead, however.
Yes,
He
in fact,
looks at Frixin. He looks at Friskin. like, what are you talking?
Can we truly be respectful if you're taking something of theirs?
Hmm.
It is
Well,
grave robbing.
This,
We're respectfully making sure that their stuff gets put to good use.
An interesting excuse for grave robbing. A common one, I imagine.
They did also try to kill us.
Are we so sure that those spirits were the ones in these 2 boxes?
They did come out of these boxes.
Did they? Oh,
They
I wasn't there for that
did.
part. Well, I guess to the victor takes the spoils.
Oh, do either of these corpses have the appearance of the? Because 2 of them, they turned into people, didn't they, or something?
they did. One faded away after being restored, presumably, to their more sane self. The other turned to a woman and then ascended to the floor above. Or turned into a woman.
Did any of those faces look like either of these faces, but with water?
I would say that it is easy enough to see the extremely dehydrated version of the spirits that you saw briefly before.
Alright, then Victor goes to spoils. We're good.
We did pay our respects downstairs.
It is true.
No, we've already made a compelling argument, don't worry. There won't be any fuss from me.
Once that's done, shall we proceed up the stairs?
Of course.
With all this rubble on the floor, I look up.
Yeah, you look up and see a giant hole in the ceiling where the floor of the above room collapsed into the one you stand in currently. The room is also lit in dim green ephemeral light. But its ceiling does appear to be intact.
Just know that if you're falling, I'm going to save my spell for if you fall more than 1 story.
That's fair. Who will go first? Will it be me?
I'll go. I
careful.
still have some protection left for the next 45 minutes or so.
Ah, well, then. Frix is first.
I will go second. I am.
Is this door openable?
It is.
We'll open the door and start heading up.
All right, you open the door and step into the next pass, but immediately see that it might not be the best one. The passage ahead is completely plugged with rubble. It would take a considerable amount of time to excavate it.
Ah, Well, not going up this way.
Oh, is the passage blocked?
Indeed.
Oh,
Most of the
unfortunate.
rubble there has blocked the path. How high up are the holes in the ceiling?
They are 20 feet up.
Oh, it's quite a distance. I don't believe
Well.
I'll be getting up there.
I do have a way to get us all up there. It will
Oh,
do our once per day thing, however.
so it can't get us down, is what you're saying.
I have a different thing that can get us down.
I hope it's not just jumping.
Yes and no.
Ah. You're a man of many
But-
tricks, Phrixus. Well, if we are so
I,
keen to advance.
I make a comment that I also have a way to get us down, and tap on a bundle of rope on my butt.
I am wearing very heavy armor. I don't think that's going to go well. Not for me, at least.
you co-
Let's see here.
Are you coming, Luffy?
Where are you going?
I'm assuming. Oh wait, I thought you guys were loading into the next floor because you guys were question marks for a second.
So the big chunk of stone over here, is there a hole directly above it?
No.
No?
No, the
No,
hole is over here.
Yeah, the western side of it.
Okay. So I will find a spot where there's a hole directly above. And I will use rope trick.
Oh
With
no,
a
not
knotted
ropes again.
Yep.
Must we always climb?
Well, if we're going to get up there.
Oh,
Um,
I miss wizards.
so the rope will raise up into the air. I think we said we had a knotted one last time in order to actually climb it.
Yeah. We probably still had that knotted one. So
Yeah, because I have at least 20 feet myself, and then if you have another one that's not cut up,
yeah, I've got a 50-foot one.
then
That is probably knotted because we used mine last time.
okay. So we'll go with that. Yeah, trying to see. Oh, it does do that. Cool. So it raises up into the air, and there will be a portal at the end of it that we could go into for the next hour, but it is also a way up.
Excellent. So who's going up the rope first?
Oh,
I can do that.
Sure. I was hoping that the rest of you would be down here to catch me when I inevitably fall, but sure.
It's one of those where if you can put a, I don't know. I don't know what the holes in the ceiling look like, but if there's a way to have like a wall to walk your feet up too, that makes it easier to climb. Try to position it for that. But
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just a stark opening. There's no wall that you could take advantage of until you get up to like the 18-foot point, and then there's, a rim of floor. So, let's see some athletics checks for anybody who wants to climb the rope, of course.
You know what? I'll stay down here for right now. You go up and scout and let me know if my presence is required.
oof.
I take a really long time. I'm doing this pure upper body strength.
We haven't rolled over 10 yet.
I will roll an athletics check. I can do this. This will be easy. Watch me roll a 1. Hey.
All right. So, Elafi and Thrag will be able to make it up the rope easily enough. Phrixus, you have some trouble getting started, so I'm just going to say, rather than falling, you just don't make it very far up.
Okay.
For those of you who have now entered the following room, I will put you there and then read you some information. Combat tracker.
Bad track for the win.
Oh, does it move you from the previous floor? It does. That's how I pop you from room to room. Okay.
Oh no, I've died into darkness.
Do you not have sight?
I was just joking because it moved, so I just.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. I just wanted to make sure. Now, this room's shattered walls stand frozen in time, hovering a heartbeat away from falling apart. A sizable hole gapes in the room's floor, the one you just ascended through. To the south, rubble blocks a staircase leading downward, while to the north, another staircase climbs to the levels above. Oh, let me post this for you. Dismal gray-green light shines from flickering wall sconces, eerily illuminating yellowed bones fallen from burial niches and scattered across the floor. In the middle of this room, you recognize the ephemeral form of the wraith you defeated in the previous floor. She is standing above a longsword that lays in a pile of bones at her feet. She leans over and tries to pick up the sword. However, it phases right through her grasp. She is in a state of distress and anguish. And you can hear her cursing under her breath in Elvish.
Laffy, do you understand Elvish?
Yes.
What is she saying?
Damn it.
Essentially, yes.
Oh. She's frustrated for certain. Do we approach her? Is it polite?
I clear my throat a little.
Yeah, you watch her attempt to pick up the sword one final time before her eyes turn towards you, two ghostly white orbs that study you from head to toe before she stands erect and responds. Intruders, then. What brings you here?
Exploration and information? Probably in
see.
the other order.
She makes another attempt at picking up the sword.
What's your name?
My name is Gentita.
Think that sword might not be great for the ethereal touching.
I can't help but need to hold it. I have to protect them. She reaches for the sword once again, trying to lift it up, and fails.
Do you know of any largish cities around here?
She gives you a curious look. We're standing in one. Surely you mean another, then.
I go and look out the side of the tower, see if there are other ruins nearby here.
You you look outside and see no other significant ruins within sight. Just the blasted wasteland you've become accustomed to.
Okay. Tower's held up better than we thought it has. If it's the only thing that survived. Thrag, you got anything?
I'm not sure. Not even sure if I can even understand her. Is she still trying to reach for her sword?
Any free moment that she has where she isn't asking or answering a question, she's spending it trying to pick up the sword.
Let me see. What are my languages again?
Bragg, can you pull up Frixis? He's better with these sort of things than we are.
That's true. I pull up the rope, pulling Frixis up.
Can the rope be moved in that manner when it's got the spell on it?
All I have is that spell description to go
It
off
says it can
of.
be pulled into the space, so I assume anybody
Yeah.
can pull it.
That would make sense.
All right, Thrag, give me an athletics check for pulling up a whole ass person on a rope.
Also, as far as I can tell, it should
Oh,
be,
it's a 10.
unless it's an extraordinarily slippery rope or something. Climbing is usually just half speed.
Or in my case, quarter speed.
I would wonder if they're expecting you to be able to have the rope against a surface. But since it's like strictly straight up, I would assume you would need a climb speed to be able to do that without any difficulty.
Climb speed just ignores that extra movement cost, from what I'm reading. But it does say at your option, climbing a slippery vertical surface or one with very few handholds requires a successful strength check.
Well, I would say only the rope is very few handholds. But for the sake of progress, we will just say that it doesn't cost any issue at all. Or it doesn't cause any issue at all. And Frixis can move up to the next room.
Eventually.
Alrighty.
As
I
can
don't see
anyone
anything
else.
here.
Oh, I have to climb straight up. Well, I guess now that I know it's possible, I'll grip the rope and make my way up as well.
Excellent. So, the two of you are able to make your slow, laborious ascent to the next room.
This is horrible, by the way.
And with a heavy, clanking heave, our final party member ascends to the floor in the form of Josephine.
Well, I'm exhausted. Is there a place for me to sit?
There is plenty of open floor.
I sit on the floor.
So, for those who have just entered this room, you see there is an angry, distressed elven ghost trying in vain to pick up a sword laying on a pile of bones, cursing under her breath in Elvish.
More spirits, great.
Has she said anything?
She said her name and that we're in a city?
In a city. This
Educate.
tower used to be part of city then. Interesting. Why does she keep trying to pick up the sword?
She said that she feels like she needs to protect somebody.
Ah. Hi, do you speak common by chance?
She will cast her ghostly visage toward you. And then after a moment, yes.
Apologies if it is not your favorite tongue. However, I'm rather curious here. Who is it that you're trying to protect?
She sighs and looks to the sword. You can see her fingers twitching to retrieve it before she responds to you. I have to protect the delegation. I have to protect my sister Tenedria. I don't know where they are. They've gone somewhere. And I can't find them. And I can't pick up my sword. And I'm angry for some reason. And I don't understand why. She tries to kick the blade this time. Goes right through her foot.
Oh. Josephine,
Yes.
if I could have an aside for a moment, walk over to her.
Well, I'm not going anywhere, so sure.
Do spirits usually respond well to being told that they're dead?
Well, it doesn't really change anything. They will remain dead, but as far as response, most spirits don't really have the luxury to respond in anything other than either one affixed emotion or another. They are, in a way, I don't want to get into philosophy of it, but I'm not sure. I've never told someone who's dead that they're dead. They're usually dead.
Well, Gentita, was it?
Yes.
What delegation are you talking about? And just so you know, we mean them no harm, whoever they are.
It is the Sylvanesti delegation sent to Istaria, to Unyari, for counsel. She tries to pick up the sword. My sister is nowhere to be seen. She went off with those mages, I can only presume, and I have no idea what happened, where I am, or why she points outside the wall, or why Unyari is missing, apparently.
Well, is there anything I can tell you that you'd like to know?
Yes, do you know where Tenadria is?
I can't say that I do.
Do you know where the delegates are?
That I do not know either.
Do you know where Unyari has gone?
Also, well, it depends. The state that you're currently in, it seems like it's been some time. Enough time that the world has gone through some sort of cataclysm. So my guess is that either this place was moved or the city is no more.
Don't we have a map? Maybe she has an estimate based on coastlines.
She doesn't respond, but rather curses under her breath, turns to the sword once more, and tries in vain to retrieve it.
Could I place that somewhere for you?
No. She will stand above it, staring at it solemnly.
Have you gone up a floor to see if the delegation is there?
I can't. Not without... She'll stare at the sword. Something up there needs... Something out there must be dealt with. It angers me.
Thrag will approach very like, non-aggressively. Go, what if I take your sword and defeat it in your name? Since you cannot do it yourself at the moment.
She will look at you with a a mournfully angry expression. And then she'll step aside and motion to it with an almost spiteful undertone. By all means.
Drag, I may also have a solution.
What?
I could maybe give her a sword that she could wield. Maybe that will settle the spirit.
You can give
Oh.
the ghost a goat.
Yes, I can.
By all means.
Just take a look at the sword really quick. What does it look like?
It is a beautiful elven weapon that shimmers ever so slightly in the dark.
Does it shimmer even more when I look at it?
When you look at it, it shimmers even more.
Okay.
I will look to her and I'll say, this is a fine Sylvanesti weapon. The Quellinesti are quite skilled as well, but something about the taste of their metal craft is... well, it can't be beat. I will spend a 3rd level spell slot to cast Spiritual Weapon, which is a spectral floating weapon.
2nd level.
2nd level. And I'll say, this does not last long, but perhaps, since it's been so long, it would feel good to grip a sword in your hand once again, warrior. And I will push the, it does say spectral sword towards her.
Yeah, you'll see the spectral sword sort of levitate in place, energy slowly rippling off of its silhouetted form, and she will reach out and gingerly attempt to grasp it. You can almost see a hesitation on her face as she expects her fingers to slip through this blade too. But they don't. You watch her fingers wrap gingerly around its spectral hilt, and as if revealing the form it always had been, we see the shimmering silhouetted light fade away and is replaced by the blade at her feet, or at least a spectral reincarnation of it. Her other hand grips the remaining bits of haft, and she holds it vertically in front of her, staring at her ghostly reflection in the blade. She then gives the blade a delicate swing to her side, and she looks up at the ceiling, sighs, and vanishes.
Many spirits... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, if you could be given inspiration, I would.
Josephine will say, many spirits are tied to this world for one reason or another. This is a warrior who wished only to protect. They've been trapped here all this time. The familiar grip of a sword is all they needed to remember that it was time to pass on.
A drag. Definitely pick up that sword.
Oh, the sword is available.
I pick up the sword.
You pick up the sword. It is a beautiful Sylvanesti warblade. It is definitely magical.
Oh yeah. I sheath it.
Can I
on
pass
my-
that inspiration I would have gotten to Thrag?
Yeah, totally. I'm
Hell
fine with
yeah.
Oh, sick.
that. Sick. My friend is so awesome.
Is that a longsword or a greatsword?
It's a longsword.
Mm.
Well, depending on how you like that blade versus your other one, I may be able to take one off your hands.
Of
However,
course.
I think your other one is about as good as what I have now.
Well, I'll have to wait. I'll have to attune to it
Yes.
magically.
Well, is there anything else in the? I'm not on that map, so
You're
I'm not
right.
sure.
I forgot to put you there. We're on it. Then we'll get Josephine up here too.
Darkness.
All right. So the only other notable feature about this room is the stairwell that goes up into the next floor. The wall is so destroyed and shattered in this space that really the stairwell looks like it's ascending like the broken skeleton that it is to the upper floor, which hovers precariously with no support at all.
Shall we continue?
Do we look
Oh,
around
wait,
this
yep.
floor again anymore just to make sure there's nothing important?
Well, you may do that. I'm going to say a prayer to be sure this spirit passes on peacefully. And
He
I'll
also
do-
just might be upstairs.
This is true. I will wait to say the prayer.
Going around.
Going around town.
If they're not upstairs, I am doing my prayer.
All right.
I believe it will be a very nice prayer, Josephine.
Thank you, Thrag.
I will move everyone into the next room then. Okay. You ascend the stairwell and open the door that is pretty much hanging without any support from the walls around it. And you step into a room that hovers in a starless night sky. Though the floor is stable, shattered wall fragments float in the air, their sconces emitting a faint, sickly green light. Beyond the broken walls lies an endless black expanse. Across the platform stands a stone archway sculpted with sharp runes and the heads of 5 dragons. Within the arch swirls dense gray mist.
What a strange place.
Heads of 5 dragons.
Don't think we like the 5 dragon group, do we?
I'm pretty sure that's the Red Dragon Army.
A red dragon army is a fifth of that.
right. History-wise, would I know anything about the runes or the carvings on this archway?
Give me a history check.
That's him.
All right. So, upon inspecting the elements, I would like you to give me an Arcana check. Okay. So, while you are reflecting upon this strange swirling portal and the dragon heads adorning its periphery, you do pay attention to a few things that inspire some inspiration. And you realize that these dragon heads are all resemblant of green dragons, specifically. More so, these runes appear to harbor the naturally occurring magics of the Feywild. Furthermore, they are not correctly aligned. You recognize a few of these runes and realize that they are at odd angles. Furthermore, you can see that these runes are in place upon circular plinths that can actually be rotated.
I will relay all of that information to the group and say, well, I could try to align these.
To what end?
Discovering where this portal goes. It could be a portal to the Feywild, for all I know, but they're misaligned.
It is.
I kind of want to know what happens when they're aligned.
You do... sorry to cut you off here.
Go.
You do also note that although these runes are not aligned in the orientation you would expect, the portal is in fact activated. That there is swirling gray mist that goes somewhere.
It might be the
between
off
the door.
runes.
I've never used a portal before, but I've heard enough stories to be afraid of them. as
We
any
use them all the
wise
time.
person would. Yes, I imagine you use ones crafted by people you trust.
I'm going to...
Did you know where
Think
you're
I
going?
trust the rest of the Order of High Sorcery?
Have you ever stepped through a portal and not known what was going to be on the other side?
Every single portal.
I don't believe that.
With the... I'd like to, write down the portal, the sigils that are there and what orientation they're currently in.
Okay.
To try to, if we needed to put it back to this. So what do you all want to do here?
Well, I'd like to see someone go through it and come back in one piece before I risk myself.
Send the ghost through.
Could try to do that, but
I don't know what that would prove. It is a ghost. It's already dead.
Yes, but it can't die.
If it goes through, ends up in a volcano and comes back, we're really not going to know.
That is true. I don't imagine it can talk. Can it?
Oh, we did
So-
just speak to a talking ghost, so I'm not sure.
I make a high-pitched little fake voice for it, going, "Yes, I obviously could talk." From the
That is confusing.
So our options are go through it now when they're misaligned, change their orientation to the what I believe is correct alignment, and go through it then, or do nothing.
My advice is to leave it be, but I cannot control the actions of others. I will sit here and let you all decide.
Olafi, do you see anything with the magic schools?
Oh yeah. Do I see whichever one teleportation is?
Yes, you do.
Okay. It's a portal.
Okay, thought as much.
I think. Maybe.
Well, my thought is I would vote to realign them and see what happens.
Further clarification, you are aware of the correct alignments the runes would be to be, vertically aligned and legible.
Mhm.
There's no indication whether or not that is
That
the
is
correct
correct
alignment.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to play with this. So,
It's your funeral.
I'm gonna take one of them and try to rotate it a little bit, and if it like shuts off, I can rotate it back.
Okay.
That is my intent.
All right. So, you reach out to rotate one of the plinths. Roll in a skill check. Wait a minute.
I have to step away for just a minute.
Okay. Fix this.
Yeesh.
You reach out to rotate the plinth, and as your fingers are about to touch the rune, you see ephemeral, sickly green energies leak from their borders and seep into your grip. You pull back quickly enough that you avoid damaging yourself any more than it already did. One moment while I tell you what happened.
Lappy is much more interested now. This is more her type of magic.
Okay. So, you take 17 necrotic damage, and you feel immediately exhausted as you have one level of it.
Ooh. Well, that hurt a little. I can't switch here. Okay. 15. Although that didn't take away from the temporary. So I should be at 2 wounds. That will... You'll see the ice that's around his armor kind of shatter and fade away as he takes a couple points of damage there. I also do not feel super great now.
Well, what happened?
Yeah. The portal bit him.
I told you.
Indeed.
Well, the rune bit him.
Well, see how, let's see. I am wondering if my Spectre can go in
Curiosity.
and come back, and if I would know if it died or not.
At the very least, it can respond to commands, so you could just tell it to go through and then wait 30 seconds and come back.
Yeah, so that was the plan. Don't know if it would know if it died on the other side, if I'd be able to know more than it didn't come back. But yeah, I'll have it do that.
All right. In that case, you will watch the specter fade through the portal. How long did you want it to wait?
Yeah, I'd say 30 seconds is probably enough.
Okay. 31 seconds later, you see the specter return through the portal.
Well, whatever it is, you can go through and come back at least.
If
Well,
you're a
at least
spectre.
it can't kill the dead. Can't kill the already dead.
Like, it could be a bunch of undead on that end. It did, I think, deal necrotic damage to me, which this thing's immune to.
If the bar to
It could-
pass is to be dead, not to be dead, I don't know that it will
Could
apply.
also turn people into wraiths.
Right, but we do know there's a portal back to get back.
Oh, that is true.
If we have the chance to.
Indeed. It's still dangerous.
As long as you know that. I won't be at fault for your demise. Again, if someone goes through and comes back unscathed, I will have no problem going through. But I will not have too much to do here to risk my life so frivolously.
Well,
Okay. Woo!
Evidently, she does not.
Is anyone following a Laffy?
first as well.
I'm gonna follow a laugh.
It was sort of like one of those nice little deer jumps too. She did say "woo" as she went through too.
Is Josephine staying here?
Until someone comes back, they could have all just jumped into a lava pit and died. I'll be the only one alive.
It's true, specters can float.
There is a under. I probably will attempt to jump back through as soon as I can, but
It would be
Okay.
appreciated.
All right. So, the three of you file into the space beyond the portal. Alafi, you will be able to return, but not before you see that you stand atop a broken tower of jet black stone, standing within a barren, unfamiliar landscape. Jagged peaks of colorless rock stretch for miles, and the wind howls mournfully. Behind you, faint light shines from an identical version of the stone archway you just passed through.
I also make a comment as I'm turning around to jump back through the portal and collide with these two. So I was going to test it.
Oh, I don't want you to test it alone.
As Josephine would have said, what if there was lava?
But Josephine, you will see Alafi stumble out of the portal after everyone else filed through it, appearing to recover from a near shoulder checking incident.
So, safe then?
No lava.
Excellent.
Or, well, no lava anymore.
I am sorry you had to risk your life. I really didn't expect all three of you to do it, but thank you. I will follow after. What is on the other side, if I might ask?
Black stone, which usually means lava, but there's no lava there, so we're good.
For now. All right, let's go.
All right, Josephine, you step through the portal and note the same things the party just did. A jet black stone tower, the gray mountains stretching for miles, the howling, mournful wind, and the portal at your back acting like a beacon of light, shedding the only real light in this space.
Maybe we're on one of the moons.
Is it super dark?
The good one.
It is very dark, but the distant atmosphere is just light enough for you to make out the silhouettes of the landscape stretching out around you.
I'll cast light on myself.
I'm assuming that we're on the good moon. The dark one.
You think we're on the moon? It's not out of the realm of possibility. But quite concerning. Light.
Frixus will flip the map over and dedicate a little corner to like a sketch of sort of what we saw there. I don't know. Is there any like entry into the tower that we're standing on? Like
You, from all
staircases?
it appears you stand on just a stark black stone tower. It stands the same height, and you are staring out at a stretch of land that is familiar yet darkly twisted, but you appear to be at the top of a monolith than a tower. There's no stairwell that goes downward. And Josephine, your light, although bright and powerful against the darkness around you, you can't help but feel like the air itself is trying to consume it.
No, I keep it on. I defy it.
So I felt magic of the Feywild out there.
You think we're in the Feywild?
I think it might be the other direction. Would this be... Would I have any way of knowing if this is the Shadowfell?
Give me an Arcana check.
Thinking with it's the moon.
So, with what you know of the Shadowfell, a great deal of what you're witnessing here lines up.
We might have gone to the Shadowfell.
I'm going to step back through this portal.
What's the Shadowfell?
Not great.
Do you know what the Feywild is?
In a very layman term.
It's the same thing, but the other direction, and instead of nature, it's shadow.
A crude summary, but most astute observation. You will hear a voice intone as a spirit apparates in front of the party, near the edge of the tower. It is an elf, very Sylvanesty in their adornments.
There's elves on the moon.
We cannot be on the moon. That is impossible.
No, you're not on a moon. Your friend already spoke truthfully. You stand in the Shadowfell. But, before you step through that portal, young miss, the ghost will say, perhaps I could request your aid.
My aid.
Yes.
Why not theirs? They walked through the portal first.
All right, anyone's aid, truthfully. Just don't leave so abruptly. I have been withheld here for some time, and you are the first mortal things to step through.
You said she was some kind of spirit-looking thing?
It is the visage of a Sylvanesti man wearing
Oh,
well-adorned robes of, well, wizardish variety. Please allow me to introduce myself. I am Varial, and I am the caretaker of Wackenreth.
Oh, you said this is Shadowfell.
I did. Caretaker of Wackenreth. So this is the Wackenreth Tower.
Well, it certainly was. That is part of the predicament I find myself in currently.
What's his name?
Varial.
Is this where Wackenrath is supposed to have been?
No, it's not, and that's part of the problem. When it fell off of Anyari, I tried to transpose it into the Feywild for safety. But as it fell, I suppose the runes were jostled or misplaced somehow, and it was transported instead to the Shadowfell. Unfortunately, I apparently perished during this stressful moment, and I am withheld here. I cannot leave.
Can I get an insight on this guy? See if
Yeah.
he's trying to... There's some sort of Shadowfell beast trying to lure us in.
I feel like
Absolutely.
he is not a very good caretaker.
Yeah, the the individual that is before you definitely seems to be speaking earnestly, though you can tell that they have this air of desperation that is driving them.
Been trapped here a long time, haven't you?
An incredibly long time, it would seem.
Why has no one found this and made it back?
I truly don't know. I can only assume that where Wackenreth fell is someplace beyond the reach of most people. You must be extraordinarily talented to have found it. Listen, I don't need much from you. The fact of the matter is, I am stuck here as a result of the spell that was cast. If the runes could be properly aligned, we could sever the link with the Shadowfell, and I could pass on, which I dearly wish to do.
I certainly wish to see you pass on.
I did attempt to change one of the runes, and it
Hit him.
did not take kindly to that.
I imagine it wouldn't. I cannot imagine how long that portal has been suffused with Shadowfell magic since the incident took place. I can only assume that when you tried to realign the runes in a way that created a feedback, it unleashed some of the Shadowfell upon you. But you appear to be none too worse for wear, and I know the correct orientation you would need in order to complete the alignment. You should be able to do so in relative safety. Or at the very least have a healing potion on hand.
Well, another thing, here. I'll flip over the map where I had written down the orientation of the ones that are outside. I'll say, this is the current orientation. If you can guide me to what the correct one is, I will write them down.
Oh, perfect. How astute of you. This is going to be far more reliable than me hoping you just remember. So, yes, he will lean over the parchment and begin to show you the correct orientation. those of you that aren't distracted by this desperate wizard relaying this information to Phrixus will see a ghastly clawed finger silently poke its way above the rim of the floor at the far end of the room. It's almost too hard to see with how dark the room is, but Josephine's struggling light casts enough that you can see the silhouette of these shining claws as a beast silently hauls itself onto the floor, its glowing bestial eyes staring down at the party, its maw grinning with fangs. It lets out a howl and a roar and rushes your party. Give me initiative.
This might be a run.
I do not like this. I also do not like that my map is not updated, so I cannot even tell what I'm seeing.
Your map should not have changed much.
Alright, well. Me do my initiative. Thrag is all this talk about like the Feywild and the like teleporting and putting ghosts to rest have definitely overloaded his brain.
All right. Jacob, if you care to find a combat track from Bardify, feel free to throw one of those on. Now, this creature is a vicious undead one. It is a huge undead monstrosity, an amalgamation of the corpses of various large hulking creatures. Although you can see many bear-like appendages, you see that the bones adorning its ribcage are from an entirely different creature altogether. They rip from its body, creating an almost maw-like appendage where its chest and stomach cavities would be. You see you see your ghostly companion turn. Oh, he's back, as he disappears, leaving you to fend for yourselves.
How far into the sigil writing did we get?
Not nearly far enough, unfortunately. This thing reared its ugly head almost as you began to learn the correct alignment. Here is a picture of this horrible beast, and here it is on the map.
Ooh.
It looks like an undead were-bunny.
And it is far larger than any bunny. Alafi, you are first to go, highest on the initiative. What would you like to do?
Feel like this is a summon beast moment. As a distraction. It's a distraction. So I'm summon the beast directly in front of the big thing.
All right, and what are we summoning?
This time it will be it'll be the buffalo again, I guess. And it's the one that we used the mastiff for because it was close enough.
Okay. Thank you for reminding me.
I will pull up my.
Is it a large creature?
No, it's a small, I believe. I'm double checking quick.
Medium or
Than a pit.
small?
Small. And it has 30 hit points.
Okay. Will you be handling its attack rolls and everything? Because
Yeah.
I just
Yep.
have a Mastiff here. All right,
Mhm.
cool.
And then
All
I will turn into my star form and archer form and shoot the thing. Because that's the best option. And I forgot to load the combat tracker. There we are.
That's it?
And you. It's wounded. I've wounded it.
It has taken damage. I repeat, it has taken damage. It can be bled.
And then the thing is supposed to have initiative right after me, so I will yell at it to attack the thing. So
All right.
it's gonna miss though.
Fair enough.
But it's trying to attack.
All right, Frixus.
Well, we need those runes. I am going to Hexblade's Curse. I think that's bonus action. Target team. And there we go. Do that on him. And then these two for me. And then let's see. First level exhaustion is just skill checks, right?
Yes.
Okay. I will just go up there and start hitting it. That was damage. It should not have done. Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing.
Well, well, well. Getting ahead of ourselves, are we?
Here, I'll just roll to see if it hits, and then that can just stay.
Good enough.
All right,
Okay.
that's good enough.
Okay. All right. So second attack. I'm gonna magical balance that. My last one for the day, and that'll make it an 18, which should hit.
Yep.
And do this thing. Alrighty.
All right. 2 powerful hits from Frixus, and that'll bring us to the Spectre's turn.
Yeah.
Speculate.
Trying to think. Spectre guy. Yeah. Can I have ordered him to attack?
It's true, yeah. Talking is a free action, and you could have easily done that.
Yeah.
Alright, so he's going to roll up on the Oncolox here. And that's a hit.
Alrighty.
For 5 damage. Nice.
And that, I think he's got to make a save or lose that in max HP, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if we.
I don't
care.
know the point of it.
Yeah.
He's either going to die or you guys are going to die. All right. But you know what? All right, he succeeds.
Yeah.
All right, it is this beast's turn, and he will turn his attention towards Frixus, who so willingly put himself directly in harm's way, and then proceeded to smack it. It is going to rear up onto its hind legs, the jowls of its gaping, ribbed chest opening wide like the jaws of a trap, and attempting to close them around Frixus. It will be a miss.
Whew.
It will then follow up with a claw attack. Also a miss. And then it will follow up with one more attack.
Also a miss.
Also a miss.
Oh,
I'm
oh, God.
using my inspiration to call bullshit.
This thing has legendary actions, right?
Yeah, I wish. All right. Next turn, Josephine.
Okay, I am going to attempt to cast my Channel Divinity and turn undead on this thing. We will see how that goes before I describe anything.
I don't remember how Turn Undead works at
I
higher levels.
accidentally applied it. I didn't want to apply that yet. Let me turn that off. So, as an action, you present your holy symbol, speak a prayer, censoring the undead. Each undead that can see or hear you within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. If the character fails its saving throw, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes any form of damage. A turned creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away from you as it can. Alright, I was going to prompt the save, but he made it. Never mind, I'll shut up.
Oh, sorry. I was just trying to help.
No, that does not go off correctly, and I will just move back. And bonus action, nothing, since no one is hurt yet, and that's the end of my turn.
Thrag, it's your turn.
Okay, so I think I can't remember if we rested. I have my rage. I have at least one rage. So what I'm going to do is, upon seeing this horrible creature, I can't use the new sword that I have, correct, without attuning to it, I'm assuming, or benefiting from its
You could
effects.
Use
You
it
could
to
use
find
it,
out
but-
that its effects.
Yeah, you wouldn't get
Okay.
its effects.
That's fine. I'll wait. So I'm going to rage. Just making sure I just have rage affected right now. I will turn Divine Fury on. Okay. Thrag is going to, upon seeing this gigantic monstrosity, will run up. And Thrag is going to make a series of attacks. He's going to, first attack, I'm going to use my Solemnic ability, Precise Attack. I will have advantage on this attack and do 1d8 additional damage. So I will... Did that hit? Oh, wait. Okay, never mind.
You should target it.
Yeah, I should target the horrific creature. Does that hit? Does a 21 hit?
It does.
Okay. So I'm going to damage. And then an additional 3 damage. And I will make a no, turn off the radiant. I'll make one additional attack with just rage. Hits. 14 damage.
Very nice.
Okay, that will end my turn.
All right, Laffy.
I will. Does this thing have any? Let's look at the picture of this thing. Does this thing
Got a
have
lot of
any
bones.
metal around? Oh no, never mind. I don't want to do that. I will guiding bolt it. And I may wheel myself just in case.
Make sure it makes it. Oof. 13?
Ooh, that's not gonna hit.
Okay. Well, that's my last free guiding bolt. Archer form. I am useless
Damn.
this turn. So the buffalo hits it.
Let's go, Buffalo.
There it is. Luckily, the buffalo has pack tactics.
What?
It legitimately does. It
Really?
Very nice.
it could be a wolf or anything else. I just choose a buffalo form.
All right, that brings us back to Phrixus.
Do I damage or damage mitigation?
That would be Phrixus's choice.
Yeah,
It's between you
It
and him.
is oozing slightly more than when it came over the edge.
true. Okay. I'm gonna cast Hex. As a bonus action. And then I am going to... I'm going to say it has disadvantage on acrobatics checks. And then I will swing at him twice.
So dexterity.
Yeah, dexterity.
Mhm.
That's the one. Alright, that'll hit.
Very nice, very nice.
20 points of damage. And then I will... I'm gonna use my inspiration to give myself advantage on this one. Does that work?
Should.
Okay. Doing the thing.
Ooh.
1.
Man, I had the feeling. It was a
You-
miss though, still.
Gosh.
Alrighty. Yeah. I guess that's it for me. Spectre smack time.
Spectre Smackdown. Right.
I do not
that's
have
me.
attacks for that. Sorry.
Yep, I realized it as you started talking.
Hey,
That's a hit.
Spectre. Doing work.
Nice.
Very nice. Alright, another ghastly strike from the Shrieking Spectre as it moves back onto the Ankylox's turn. Let's see. The situation hasn't really changed much for it, so it is going to try and do what it did before. It will rear up on its hind legs, its jowl-like chest cavity ripping open, sending sinew and blood and gore flying in front of it as it tries to clench it down around Phrixus. It misses, and it will
Not
follow up
another 8
its.
both times.
It will follow up with an attack. Phrixus, it will strike you with one of its rending claws, dealing 26 damage to you.
What? No.
Oh.
Furthermore, it hits you with such calamitous strength that it sends you tumbling through the air. It cuts you in such a way that it sends you into a flying arc around it. Double checking really quick.
I was hoping it would send him in such an arc that you go flying 20 feet straight backwards.
Into a portal. That would be really fun.
How are we ever going to financially recover from this?
Okay. It will launch you. Across the room, landing at the edge of the room. It will then lumber with alarming speed after you and make another attack.
So the Spectre and the
I miss.
Huge get
Yeah, they do.
opportunities.
Beast missed.
Actually,
Oh wait, Beast gets another attack because pack tactics.
Opportunity attack is. Oh, that's what. Yeah. That's what we want to see. Oh,
Do we?
very nice. Very nice.
Oh, he
that'll
doesn't.
be
I
a
don't.
miss
I
for the
don't.
Spectre.
Okay.
I don't get an attack of opportunity.
No.
No, you don't.
Good hit on the beast. Jeez.
All right, Frixis, a very near miss as it barely misses, sending you careening off the tower.
Oh no.
It's channeling Josh, and I love it.
It is Josephine's turn.
Let's see. You are only a tiny bit under half health, so Channel Divinity there is not going to be great. I cannot actually get to you with a Cure Wounds, so that wouldn't be good. I don't know that I want to blow a 3rd level slot on a minor heal, like, or whatever the smaller heal is. What's it called? Healing Word.
Yeah.
You're still up. You know, if you go down, I can do a lot more. So I'm almost rooting for you to drop. There's not like a ton. So I guess I'll just move 5, 10, 15, 20, kind of set myself up to be close enough to Frixis to heal him. And then I'll just Scorching Ray this nerd because it's a cantrip. Might as well. Or not Scorching Ray, sorry. Sacred Flame is what I use. He failed. So he takes a little bit of fire. There you go, buddy. And
Nice.
Secret flame.
that's it for me.
All right, it's Zach's turn.
I'm hoping that I get to finish it off so I can make a comment how I'm the only one who changed any statuses on it. So
It is Zach's turn.
Okay, so I'm going to. I don't know if I want a reckless attack because this thing hurts so very bad.
It's pretty intent on me, it seems.
Yeah, I'm gonna reckless. I'm gonna add my reckless attack to this. I'm gonna try to save Frixis. Frixis is in a bad way.
Nice.
Okay, that's a
That's
hit.
it.
Not so nice.
Ooh, not so nice. All right. Second attack. Take off the radiant. It's a hit. This thing isn't very.
How do you kill it?
I kill it.
I feel like that was a kill steal, but right. Come on.
I while it's paying attention to Frixis, I run up its back and just God of War style plunge my sword into its head.
Awesome. Yeah. Your blade sinks into its oozing flesh and it collapses in front of Frixis. The bones of its ribcage shattering and snapping on the ground, creating a sickly, crunching symphony as it lurches and growls its last. It is in the wake of its death that our ghostly friend returns. Oh, well done. You handled that thing expertly.
I do get some hit points back from it dying and having Hexblade's curse on it.
There we go.
So you'll see a little bit of that shadow coalesce and then form its way into the sword, and then it gets filtered through and amongst
Look at that.
healing his wounds. A little.
Just a little.
Yeah, and I will switch our music back.
Well, I don't like this place at all.
Yes, I would love to get out of here. What were those runes again?
Right. Yes, if you'll hand me that paper once more, and he will show you the correct orientation.
Your shaking hand. Holding your gun.
I go and look over the edge it came over to see how the hell it climbed up this obelisk.
Yeah, you can see that the obelisk is more naturally occurring than made in any specific way. So there's a lot of jagged, rough cliff edges and faces that would be easy enough for something with giant rending claws to rip through and grab onto.
Does it have a really big blood stain if you turn that on the token?
Oh yeah, you know what? I bet it does. Let's delete them. Oh.
Nothing.
No, dang. I was hoping for like bones.
He might have not actually had
The ghost
damage,
did leave a
so-
green bloodstain.
Oh,
didn't
he
it?
wasn't actually dead when I deleted him because he had only 1 HP left.
Put him back.
Put him back. All right, we'll figure it out. Counter. You guys want to fight him again?
No.
No.
Yeah, sure.
Because apparently it was very easy.
Very easy when he missed 5 of his 6 attacks.
Yeah, if I didn't wear a shield, I would have been
He's done.
screwed.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Would have been dead. Would have been
Yes. 3
That's all right.
attacks, 20 damage at least, and the big one, I don't know what he does.
No, it's fine. It's just how my rolls go with bosses. They just drop
I
the
mean,
soap.
you got that max damage roll, so
Mhm.
that max
is true.
damage roll was pretty scary.
So, you learn the correct orientation of the runes, and with a mournful sigh, he says, Variel says, "All right, do be careful. Shadowfell energies suffused in the mechanism. Just understand that it might still kick back at you, but if you do this orientation correctly, in the way that I've shown you, it should sever the connection. The tower will return in its entirety to the plane it belongs in, and I get to die."
Interesting. Any, pre-calamity knowledge you'd like to pass along?
What do you mean?
Well, one of the reasons the towers is here is there was a calamity thing, and now there's a whole nother tower, and we're still recovering things from the old days.
What are you
You know-
talking about?
The gods walked away.
History.
No, they didn't.
For a time, at least.
Right. Speaking in tongues. Perhaps it's because I'm dead, I'm not as affected by the Shadowfell as you are, but you should probably move on before you lose more of your mind.
Is there anything in the tower that would be dangerous to us when it comes back?
No, there shouldn't be. It was erected primarily as a place of mourning for the Sylvanesti, an entombment to celebrate decorated soldiers and statesmen that served on Yari in the past. But yes, there shouldn't be anything particularly nefarious about the place. Unless perhaps some beast has made its den there, wherever it may be. Surely whatever has been preventing people from doing what you're doing now.
Right. Well,
Are there any major cities in the area? Like ones without names?
do you know the city of the lost name?
I have no idea what this place is, but I assume Onyari is nearby. I would be surprised if it wasn't there. But when the tower fell, perhaps it continued on its way.
Yes. So, City of the Lost Names doesn't ring a bell. That means it's a newer name.
I'm sorry, is Anyari a person, a city, or what?
Oh, it's an Astarian city. It's where Wackenrath was erected.
Understood.
Truly, you've never heard of it. It was a marvel. A flying city.
You've been dead a long time. Your city is gone, my friend.
Oh,
That's impossible.
a flying city.
No, it's not.
There could be ruins of it scattered all over the place.
We are in a wasteland.
This is true.
Just saying, that might be the waste part of the wasteland.
It will not be a concern of yours for much longer, my friend. You will pass on.
His eyes close, and you can see him draw a deep, ephemeral breath, and he will nod. Yes. Finally, passing on. On that note, please, I'm sure I've answered any questions I could. Let us proceed, both with your life and mine.
Did we didn't ask him any questions regarding the guy we're trying to find, right? Do you think he would know of him?
Probably not if he's been trapped in the Shadowfell, but he might know history of the guy, not necessarily.
Well, I think this guy might be pre that guy.
Oh, you
maybe.
think?
Well,
Do you know, insert undead evil man's name here?
Yeah, his name is so iconic. I don't know why I keep forgetting it.
No, I'm not familiar with this man.
okay.
Oh.
Do you know where the gods get their power?
Ugh. Really? He motions agape at Josephine. Ask the cleric. What do you
already
mean where the
have.
gods get their power? From their worshippers, of course. Listen, friend. You're doing me a service. I'm trying to be patient. I very much want to die.
What's another 1,000
You-
years?
You are blue-balling me here, friend.
What's another?
flying
I'm
What's,
so close.
Lie.
Look,
what's
when you look
another?
at
What is
being-
literally another 5 minutes of your time?
Just figured I'd take up the opportunity, meeting a being from an ancient time that do more about magic, so, you know. Well, I think we've done what we can here, shall we?
We shall, please. He motions towards the portal and starts to show people out like he's a chauffeur. This way, through the portal. Don't forget about the runes.
Wait, I have one more question. Is a hot dog a sandwich or a hot dog?
Everyone knows a hot dog is best served in a croissant. Now go!
Oh, thank you for this hidden knowledge.
It was never a sandwich.
But on the moon.
This poor guy, he got us. This fucking portal.
Okay.
All right, yeah, you step back through the portal and you find yourself at the very top of what you now know to be Wackenrath Tower. It is as dilapidated and frozen in its destroyed state as you remember it being.
I could definitely use a rest, but I will leave that up to the party, whether we do that before or after trying to do this.
All right. You can show me what are the runes supposed to look like?
I actually have something for that. I think my Spectre might be able to do this. And the damage I was taking from that, I think it might be immune to.
Oh.
Oh, I stick my head back to the portal before we start doing the portal thing and call my buffalo.
All right, your
Thank God.
buffalo comes with you.
And tell the guy, have fun on the moon again, and then continue.
Should we take a short rest, or
Do you need one?
I could definitely use one, but
Then it sounds like we need a short rest. You are allowed these things, Phrixus, without all of our approval.
Probably also not have Phrixus attempt to move things due to exhaustion.
yeah.
Now, I would apply healing to you, but I believe it is for an emergency situation at the moment, and you do look mostly together.
Indeed, it's more my magical energies that I'm worried about, considering most of my daily use things are gone now.
Well, give me the runes if the thing hurts you. I'm the one who's taken the least pain here.
Well, let's try to have the Spectre do it first.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. If you think it can carry out such a complex order.
Well, I can only try.
To what end, we will see.
I'll try to do it one at a time and have it match the orientation from the left to right. I'll try one at a time to have it actually turn the things.
Will do.
Because it has necrotic immunity, and that's what I took previously.
Mhm. Okay, so you try to get your Spectre to do that, but you note that he just phases right through it.
Ah,
I shall input them.
I will assist you by
You look
making
just
comment
as...
over your corner.
You
are
look
we
just
doing
as
rest before or after this?
Well,
Sorry.
I am not hurt. Let us just do it now, unless we are expecting something to come through. I say we just get it done and over with. I just look at Laffy. He's like, go over there with the rest of your hurt friends.
Oh, mine was more of like assistance by like yelling over your shoulder, like no, not like that, and
You are very heavily wounded. Oh, well, no, I'll take that. Thank you. But get back over there. All right, I'll mess with this thing.
All right. So it takes several minutes of instruction to properly align the runes. And although you are able to succeed in the task,
I also wheel him.
Excellent.
So I added 9 points of help, and I'm out of wheel.
Does that happen to benefit saving throws?
Yes.
Okay. So, you feel as if you are being gifted or protected by another source as you begin to turn these dials. The necrotic energy trying in vain to slip into the chinks in your armor and drain your life force. You align 1, 2, 3, 5 of these runes in the correct orientation that they need, and when the final rune clicks into place, you see the portal shimmer ever so briefly before the swirling gray mist dissipates entirely, leaving an empty void and nothing of note. As that magic dissipates, you see and hear rubble moving and crumbling and returning to where it was before. Gaps sealing and repairing itself as if the tower was rebuilding itself entirely on its own merits. In a matter of moments, you stand inside Wackenrath Tower, restored, as if it had never fallen in the first place.
No.
So at that point, Elathi makes a comment that's like, well, there's about a third of the chance that was going to happen, a third of the chance nothing was going to happen, and about a third of the chance that we all fell to our deaths.
Well, thank goodness for your magic.
Yes. I'm confused. What does this mean?
It means the tower is back in one piece.
This used to be the primary tower of the mages. So
But there are only 2 floors.
There are 3.
4, right?
4. Oh, no, yes, that's 4. You're right.
I think
That-
we're
that one
confusing
came up.
Wayrith and Wackenrath.
Wayrith is the current one. Wackenrath was the one that was destroyed back in the
Was
Calamity.
Wackenrath the one?
Yes, Wackenrath and Wayreth were both towers that the
Okay.
the Order of High Sorcery used for training. But Wackenrath had been lost forever ago, and Wayreth was used in lieu of that.
Oh. Anything about the room other than it reassembled itself?
No, that everything is immaculately well constructed, and all refuse and rubble is completely removed.
No, they didn't restore any furnishings or papers or books or anything like that. Just
No.
the building itself. Okay, cool.
Just the building itself.
Okay, then if we are going to continue back down this thing, if you don't mind, I would like to take a rest here.
Well, I don't know why we can't just make this a point of camp. Hell, we could make it a point of operation.
Long rest of the day?
Long rest for the day, or even a point of operation.
No? True.
A place to at least stop by to rest on the way. If it's all put back together, this is a sturdy home.
The other mages of high sorcery will definitely want to investigate this at some point.
Well, we'll have to
But-
warn them of the portal. Certainly.
Is the portal connected to the Feywild now then?
It's connected to nothing. It was severing,
It-
so that
Okay.
the two basically, so the magic was no longer there. The spell has been ended.
Yeah.
You
I just
do know
he
that
was
it,
trying to do the Feywild thing when he
I'm gonna take a wild guess.
mistakenly did it.
Is it the case where the tower was kind of half in one place, half in the other, Kyle? Now it's
Yeah.
all in one. Got it.
Yep, it did look like it was being ripped apart.
So now it is all in one place. All is set right. Does make me wonder what became of the souls of the individuals entombed here. There's no way to know. Well, let's rest, shall we?
Well, perhaps we freed them?
I can only hope that that is the case. Might as well set up camp here, no place better, right?
Yeah.
It's furthest from
I
the
guess-
ground. These doors work now. I can give them a good lock.
Do we know what time of day it is currently, roughly? I don't remember how much else we've
We
done.
traveled a whole day to get here. I'm pretty
Yep.
sure.
Okay. Right, because we
It
were
is-
halfway to the other place.
Yeah, it is essentially the end of the day.
So I'm making camp. I'm rolling out my
Okay.
bedroll, and if there's
Yeah.
a ceiling, I don't got to put my tent up, which is great.
Mhm.
Things a pain in the arse.
All right, so is our party camping here for the evening? And if so, what are the watches?
I will go.
Yep, go ahead.
I will go first. I am the less beaten up of us.
I'll go second.
I will do a short rest and then a long rest, and I'll go third, I guess.
I will go cry in the corner.
Why are you crying?
I just spent that fight with single-digit health.
Oh, you were fine. Don't worry.
You might be powerful, Josephine, but you cannot heal emotional damage.
Try me.
I do not suffer emotional damage, but our dear friend Laffy does.
It seems I've healed you then, Thrag.
Wait, are you saying that you've... Wait,
Perhaps the reason you haven't had emotional damage to begin with is my presence.
I can't disprove that.
No, you can't. Go to sleep.
All right. So as our party is not breaking camp, but setting up camp and preparing to rest, Laffy, you hear the very telltale sounds of soft ginger footfalls echoing up the stairwell. Someone is climbing the stairs.
I think the person whose cloak we stole is probably mad at us.
What's that? I'm sleeping.
There's someone walking up the stairs.
Oh, great. I don't have my armor on. All right. I get up.
Yeah, I will also get up,
I get up to...
grab the shield and sword at least.
Oh, okay, never mind.
All right, so our party arms themselves as best as they can as the footfalls meet the door. They stop for a moment, and then you hear soft whispering. You can tell a man is on the other side of the door, and you hear the door handle being tested. Before the handle turns, and it opens. As the door begins to creak open, you see an ephemeral blue light drop, as if someone was concentrating on a light spell up until just a second ago. Then you see a head peek around the corner.
Boo.
It is a familiar face. You see Dalamar at the door.
Suddenly there are air elementals.
You seem to have followed us.
Oh! Dalamar takes a deep breath and closes the door behind him. Oh, okay. I heard talking up here and I was concerned what it could have been. But, how relieved am I to see friendly faces. I assume you've done something here. Yes?
Insight that this is actually Dalamar.
Yeah, give me that insight. All signs point to Dalamar.
Okay, good.
Does he have twin blades on him for some reason?
No. He just has simple traveling robes. Though you see that he wears a very light pack. Which...
Ceiling. Twin blades.
No, there's no twin blades.
Frixus, can you make sure he's not an illusion?
Bit jumpy, aren't we?
Offer him that
Yeah,
handshake.
he'll put his weapon away and go to greet him by giving a good handshake.
Yes, you have the most strange gestures. It's good to see you too, Phrixus. And he shakes your hand.
Well, and I don't feel any illusory things.
No.
Do you
Tails.
give like a nod, like make it even weirder, like nod to everybody? Like, yeah, he's
Yeah,
alright,
yeah.
he's alright.
While still holding his hand.
Yeah.
Like,
He'll say, "You can never be too careful. Some of these red dragon folks can impersonate people."
Might be a mimic or a spirit.
well, yes, that's all well and good, I suppose.
But yes, did you abandon your post?
Yes, we did invite you on this journey.
Listen, abandon, inspect disturbances. It's all going to be completely above board. It just depends on how you fill out the report.
With a rebel.
Well, yes, we did do something here.
I could feel it. That's why I came.
Well, this place was somehow tied to the Shadowfell, and we severed that tie at request of the previous caretaker of Wackenreth, and he'll motion to the tower.
Gentleman
Inspired.
Very.
I see you've made camp. Could I join you? Just so I could sit down. He will join you in your camp and sit down. Though he'll see the specter and then shuffle 5 feet this way.
Move the specter away.
Yeah, go over there.
And go to the floor.
Go away! And it's like dejectedly sinks into the ground. Right, so he tenses his hands. I have a talent that I didn't really feel was that important to share, but perhaps it will shed some light as to why I'm here. I have the ability to sense ley line energies. I'm assuming some of you are familiar with this. He looks to Phrixus with a hopeful expression.
I would guess yes, but am I?
You would, I would assume, be at least cursory aware of the fact that magical energy does move in highways throughout the world. Whether or not it's something someone could detect without magical help is up for debate.
I am a mage of high sorcery, so I at least know the basics about ley lines.
Perfect. So you can explain to the others if they need it. But yes, I have a talent that allows me to detect ley energy without the aid of an apparatus. It's something that I employ in my scouting and my searching, and it is part of the reason why I sent you to, well, the places that I did. They were emanating unusual magical frequencies along the ley lines, and it was incredibly curious. So, when you set off that last ripple, I had to just see it for myself. So, it's wondrous. I didn't actually think this would be Wackenreth, but it does match all descriptions I'm familiar with. And you said you met the Keeper. Did he say this was Wackenreth? Do you have first-hand knowledge?
Sorry, his people are the Sylvanesti, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So,
Okay. Yes, it was Varial, I believe, was his name, and yes, he did say that this was Wackenrath. He was the one that attempted to shunt it to the Feywild when the tower fell originally, and said that somehow the runes got misaligned and it ended up tied to the Shadowfell.
Well, he must have been in a horrible panic. He looks at the portal. It'd be hard to imagine incorrectly lining them up.
Yeah, that or some kind of sabotage, but Astaria, I think, was the name of the city that he said this was in the center of. Apparently it was a flying city.
Just in case you are just double checking, are you misleading him intentionally or?
No.
Okay, so it was a flying city of Istaria,
Okay.
but it is the city Onyari.
Oh, right. Wait. So Istaria was
Astarian
the
Astaria is the
country?
people.
It is,
Yeah.
yes, the people.
Or
It is an
people?
Astarian
Okay.
city
Oh, okay.
named Onyari.
Okay. Yeah, he would say the correct one.
Okay, cool. You would see his ears almost perk up at the mention of Onyari, and he would say, "Well, that is curious indeed. Well, I'm certainly interested to see where Wackenrath came from. If I could imagine a place that would house forgotten Sylvanesti magics, I could not imagine a place more suiting than the would-be home of Wackenrath."
I was unaware of the Sylvanesti ties. They said it was mostly a place to entomb their dead higher-ups, I would assume?
Well, it would be either important mages, diplomats, or soldiers, people who deserved a permanent internment somewhere they could be visited. It's the usual sort of internment rites afforded to anyone's culture where someone is notable and worth remembering. But it is even more important honorific to be bestowed on people with unusually long life. And you have to try a lot harder when everybody lives longer.
I would imagine your camp will probably want to investigate this, provided they are not still gonna go inch by inch.
I'm pretty convinced that even if I did report that I found the Wackenrath, we would mark it down for a later date to inspect once we've finished our sweep of all that come before it. I will certainly make the report when I feel like it, but I don't expect them to react to its presence. What they will react to, though, is Onyari.
Ah.
As you can see, there's nothing really to be retrieved here. Did you happen to find anything of note?
This sword and these robes.
A couple of artifacts, yes.
It's not the sort of thing we're looking for, but I won't tell them you took them if you won't.
Well, primary operating right now is resting. We had a bit of a tangle with the Shadowfell beast on our way out of the portal there. So resting up a little bit before we go back down and see the tower in all of its reconstructed splendor. Prior to it looking like this, there were floating chunks of the tower itself, so was interesting to see on its way in, too.
Well, I can assure you, you've managed to restore it to its what must have been its former glory, because I saw no ruined chunks floating around anywhere. But I understand you wanting to get to your rest. I also should not be gone from camp any longer than is reasonable.
Oh, I was going to offer that if we finish our rests as we investigate the rest of it on our way down, you're welcome to join us.
Oh, no, although I do appreciate it, I have a schedule I need to upkeep. And if I'm gone for too long, I am going to get words. So, listen, I do have a proposition, and I think it is one that will favor both parties. The reason why I sent you to these locations, as I said, the ley lines don't make sense. There's magical distortions that are making it difficult to read. What is exciting to me is that we have found Wackenreth. It is a part of a whole. It will share magical resonance with its other half. So, wherever Onyari is, we can find it because we found Wackenreth.
Oh.
However, I do have one issue. The disturbances in the ley lines make it so that even though I'm standing in Wackenreth, I can't quite reliably predict where Onyari is until those disturbances are accounted for. I need to know what is distorting that magic so I know what I can ignore on the ley lines. So, have you been to any of the other places I politely suggested you towards?
We indeed went to the door that you mentioned. That was underneath. It ended up being a shrine to the sea god, I believe.
The sea god. Habaduke?
Habakkuk, I believe.
Habakkuk, yes, okay. He pulls out a tome and a lavish quill pen, and he begins to take some notes. So, Habakkuk, divine magic, that would make sense. I'm surprised that he's present enough. Did you sense any concrete divine magic within, or was it some other source?
Yes.
Wow.
He did. He actually blessed us as well.
And you bear his blessing. Very curious. So, at least from what I have witnessed, there are two gods still playing on this realm.
I believe at least 3.
So, we have Habakkuk, dear Josephine's. What is the third?
Thrag?
What? What?
Your patron, as it seems.
Interesting.
What's
Kiri
his name?
Jolith?
His name
Kiri Jolith.
I see. So, I suppose it makes sense. If Mishakal is back, Kiri Jolith would naturally follow suit. I find that incredibly curious, if the gods are indeed starting to work their way back into the realm.
I don't
Why?
think they ever left. Well,
Well, the moons obviously
not
didn't.
completely.
Well, they certainly made a grand show of trying to leave, or pretending to, rather.
Where their worshippers walk, so do they.
Well, they took their worshippers with them.
Not all
So
of them.
I do suppose we just assumed the people who remained just didn't make the cut.
Well, many have been born since then, so maybe people are becoming worthy again.
Well, it doesn't explain why no one's been able to call upon their magic since, but
Hmm.
the group assembled here are stark contrast to the norm.
Do you know?
If you're
The Muffin Man?
Do you know of the Dimernesti elves?
I know of them, but I would say I don't interact with them frequently.
They are worshipping Habakkuk.
That's true. Well, I suppose that's good to note down.
There are clerics among them as well.
And have you seen them channeling any divine magics yourself? Or
I have not, but I took the place of one that would have. I can only assume they would have had the same ability as me.
another
Once-
one
I wonder, do you think there are more temples out here of the god for the gods? All of them? Would they be in this region?
I suppose if they all decided to erect their shrines in the middle of a blasted wasteland. But I don't really know for certain.
I have a fun theory. If anybody wants to bounce it around in their head. We did just have an interesting conversation with the caretaker of this place, and he did explain that he was trying to send the tower, or maybe the entire city, in fact, to the Feywild to keep safe, but it ended up in the Shadowfell. Now, if I can understand it, I've got a brief, cursory education in realm knowledge. I know very little, but I do know that the Feywild and the Shadowfell are two sides of the mortal coin. Do we think perhaps the city was sent to the Feywild, while the tower to the Shadowfell? Just something to throw out there.
Either that or the tower, if it was flying city, the tower could have been sent to the Shadowfell and it kept flying.
Perhaps, but
But,
there's no
yeah.
evidence of it, so
Perhaps.
you'd think a flying city would have been seen by now.
Well, my guess is it crashed.
I feel as though that would have left an impact as well, to be noted.
Well, nobody was able to apparently find this place for the last couple.
Well, it's a little bit
100
different
years or
between
so.
this and a city.
One would wager a city is a lot harder to miss. Footprints rather large compared to a tower.
While you're noting about gods, though, the Red Dragon Army is also has drakes that have also not been seen for a long time.
Well, a long time south of the wastelands. They are native to this area. They do seem to have been able to tame them, which is the most unusual property to make note of. They are wiry and temperamental.
We also
Not
have
easily done.
some draconians, if you've seen them.
Yes, I've certainly run into those monstrosities. There's some explanation to be had there, but it's beyond me currently. But talk of the gods as it is a bit of a distracting subject of conversation. What I want to get across before I need to leave is I need to know what magic is emanating out of that blasted tower on the coast. If I know what is coming out of it, then I can filter through all of this interference and I can figure out where Onyari actually is. And he turns to Josephine. If it isn't the Shadowfell,
Or the
Then me not-
Feywild.
or the Feywild, if I can't detect it here, that would be a certain clue that it must be on some other plane.
We were heading that way. Before you disturbed our rest, of course.
That was our intended course was heading that direction. We still haven't found anything of this City of Lost Names.
Well, perhaps it will rear its ugly head in the future. Or maybe Anyari will have some records of it.
It was a city in the same time.
And I
Okay.
can only presume that they would have records of other cities, so
Indeed, that's what I implied.
yes, I'm more agreeing with you by talking out loud.
Yes.
Apologies.
No,
I-
I'm used to it.
So,
Live among elves.
I won't disturb your sleep anymore. I didn't intend to disturb anyone. Well, anyone I cared about when I came up here. I guess I should get back to my camp. When... How would I know to reach out to you? Have you found any of the gates nearby?
Well, we did find one gate closer to the
Your
door
camp.
that we were at. Yeah, about midway between the camp and the door that you sent us to. That one was guarded, but we managed to take care of that and recorrect it, so it's now stable.
All right. I know that there are a few. Just simply by the fact that they exist, there must be more than one. I could have sworn I saw one, or rather felt one, north of here, but I haven't seen it with my own eyes, so I couldn't point you to it. Listen, I just implore you, once you've been to the tower, once you know what it is causing that disturbance, return to me at my camp, let me know, and then I can guide us to Anyari, and hopefully we can learn there where your City of Lost Names is.
Well, it's a long shot, but it's definitely a way forward for us, so we have nothing other than wandering around the desert, so...
When we came across that first gate, was it open? Was it something we could have gone through?
We opened it.
Did anyone
Well,
step through it?
It was unstable.
It was unstable, and that's why we didn't go through it.
Right.
I think we stabilized it, but we were told that we could tell that it wasn't attached to anywhere else.
Got it. I just want to make sure it wasn't a doorway we didn't take.
Yeah, right.
I was like, wait a minute, we passed that up? No.
That seems unlikely for me.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way we went through a door that Alex did not hop through Bambi style.
Yeah, I was about to say, you would totally have hopped through Bambi style before leaving it. But, it sounds like I need to leave and return to my camp, but if there's anything I can do or answer for you before I depart.
Yes, is a hot dog a sandwich? No, just kidding.
Are you able to identify things?
Well, yes, I could do that.
Ooh.
The two items that we have. If you wouldn't mind identifying them for us, that would be great.
Well, sure. Just
And
hand
that
them
way-
to me.
You at least have cataloged that they existed. And if there's anything interesting, you can definitely come to an arrangement.
Well, present these items then.
I show him the sword.
And I don't know. Thrag and I both took the cloak thing, so I can pull that out.
You'll pull out the sword, and you will hear Dalamar whistle under his breath. Ooh, that is a pretty sword.
Indeed.
Yeah, should be careful who you show this to when it comes to the Sylvanesti. This is a masterful piece of work. It must have belonged to someone important.
A guardian of...
A delegation.
Checking my notes.
Uh,
Yes, a delegation
Tenandra.
to work with. That was her sister's name, right?
Someone that she was protecting.
Well, if this sword was meant to protect someone, that person must have been
Gen-
important, I suppose.
Gentita. That was her name.
The name of the warrior, yes.
Yes.
It was kind of angry.
Oh,
Well,
in the end, she saw peace.
Indeed.
well, let us see what kind of sword Gentita used. He will cast Identify, and he will whistle once again. Oh, well, this here is a dancing blade.
Oh. Very
Does that-
nice.
What does that do?
Well, it has a phrase. Funnily enough, it is the name of that woman.
Gentita?
Not Gentita, the other one.
Tenadria.
Tenadria, yes.
Tenadria.
So if you attune to this and speak her name, you can, well, make the sword dance. Very useful weapon for a warrior. So I believe I saw an anime recently. Castlevania had it.
Oh, I'm watching that too.
It's incredibly bloody, but God, I love that scoundrel's dialogue.
I'll put it on my watch list.
Seems like it might be a bard's sword, though. All that dancing.
It's true.
Phrixus, would you like this?
Well, I can certainly put it to use.
I guess I could use it, but I'm worried I wouldn't be able to really take advantage of it after I rage.
That's fair. I'm usually on the front lines with you. And I run out of spells quickly.
This might be a good option for you.
I would, that would also potentially solve the problem of, showing it to the wrong people.
It's true.
Did that picture not have the ability for you to link to the actual item?
I am unsure.
Alright, I'll put it in the party sheet.
I mean, I have an image of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering if
I'm
you could.
reading it too right
look-
now.
It does not let me read it. No.
There you go. I've added it to your parcel items. You can open that up and see what it does. It's pretty awesome.
Party sheet. Dancing longsword.
It
It's
is
basically a spiritual weapon.
It's basically
Yep.
a spirit weapon, yeah. Without casting a spell. Sick. It gets 4 attacks and then it returns to your hand.
So whoever doesn't use bonus actions should probably grab that.
I use a couple bonus actions, but not a ton.
I mean, I technically only need bonus action to rage. But it wouldn't feel right. I already have a +1 magical weapon and Ispin's shield, so gotta share the love for the magical items.
Oh yeah. Forgot about Ispin's shield.
I think
I'm not a
each-
character that would know about that anymore.
Each of us uses a good amount of bonus actions.
Yeah.
It's really
Oh.
it could be good for anybody in the moment.
It's bad for me in particular because I use a ton of bonus actions.
I'm usually healing with mine.
Dalamar will continue and inspect the cloak. This is a beautiful garment. It's a cloak of protection.
Oh,
Very useful. Good for keeping people alive.
What does it do?
Adds
Protect
one-
people.
AC.
Well, that's
It's 1 AC.
And 1 saving throw, if I remember right.
Yes.
Yep. 1 bonus to all your saving throws too.
And it's not considered armor?
Nope. It's just an extra
Oh.
item. It's one of your. I believe it's a. Let me see. Is it an attuned?
Attuned.
It is. Yeah, attuned. Yep. It just takes an attunement slot for an extra AC.
Yeah, honestly, I would use either of these, but who do we have that has not gotten magic items yet?
Do I even
I
have?
feel like anybody could use that cloak.
What is a Laffy's AC?
16?
Laffy might. Yeah, I'm at 19.
Yeah. Laffy, would you want to take that?
Sure.
It would be nice to not have you get hit quite as often.
Yeah.
5% less.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Dalamar. Is there anything we can do for you other than heading to the tower next?
Oh, no, I don't suppose there is. What you have done so far has been more than enough service to help me and my kind find Onyari, so continuing to work towards that end would be more than repayment for what I've done here.
Well, I will do what I can for sure.
Very good.
Looking at it, actually, someone else should take it. I'm already wearing a magical cloak.
Right.
Both Phrixus and I have the same AC, but you are more often frontline.
I hate to take both of them, but I do intend to also ditch the shield at some point.
It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, it makes sense for you.
Yeah, we don't have to be even Stevens.
Okay.
I have plenty of AC, and I'm usually in the back already.
My AC is sitting at 18. I think I'm fine for now.
Yeah, having you at 20, Phrixus, would be very nice.
Alrighty.
Yeah, not to mention Thrag can take it. So
yeah, you
it's
have
like-
rage too.
Eventually, I might get to a point where I have a spell that I will use instead. But
Then hand
at
it
that
off
point,
to
I
me.
can hand it off to Thrag or somebody.
Or
Yeah.
somebody or anybody. Yeah.
Yep. But cool.
Who needs magic items when you have Bell
Oh, yeah.
I only get
and
2 of them.
feats with more spells?
Who needs magical items when you have spell?
Well, then, I best get a tuning to these.
Listen, I best be going.
I just get. I will be attuning to my bedroll, so.
Sleep.
I wish you all safe travels. And I will see you, hopefully, in my camp before too long.
I just hope.
I hope so.
They'll give you all a polite bow and then descend down the stairs. And it is a few moments before you hear the echo of his footfalls fade into the darkness.
Oh, I guess I would have asked him, did you find anything on the way up?
Nope!
Okay, cool.
No! Place is empty!
Except for the troll.
Rolled up Wendy's bag. In the corner. Not much.
The hundreds of silver coins on the first floor.
Yeah, I took them all. Mine now.
Feeling kinda sick! All right. So Delamar will depart, and your party will be able to rest undisturbed for the entirety of the night.
Long rest. I
Yes.
had 3 spell slots left. They were all third.
And don't worry about the hag that showed up in the middle of the night and offered you things. It's fine.
What?
Well, we have a portal to unopened portal to Feywild sitting
Wait,
next
no,
to us.
it's closed. It's closed. We're good.
Do you want a cookie, dearie?
Sure.
Yes. Do eat it all.
I will.
Every bite.
I already have. Can I have another?
Don't spill a crumb.
I didn't.
Get into this oven.
All right. Seriously, though, you really shouldn't have 2.
More.
No,
Already
no,
ate a plate full.
Once cookies fine. Don't touch it. You'll spoil the meat.
The meat.
Don't worry about it, dearie.
All right.
I feel like she should be probably coming after me. I'm much more tender than Thrag.
Oh. I'm offended.
I want to be eaten by the. I'm delicious.
Am I not good enough to be eaten? But, alright, our party will rest, get the full benefits of that rest, is not disturbed over the course of the night, and we find ourselves fresh-faced onto the next day. And is at this point, I ask, do you want to continue to explore Wackenrath, or are we back on the Hex Grid?
I would just want to go down and see if there's anything worth, like, investigating further on the other floors, but if nothing draws my eye, then probably fine.
No, there's really nothing else of note. The tower is completely restored. The lights no longer glow a sickly green, but a cool and cold blue. The tombs have been physically restored, though you see that whatever sarcophagi might have been entombed within them are still gone. The 2 that were ajar before are also there. Their bodies remain where they are. There are no ghosts wandering the halls, no signs of haunting whatsoever. The first floor remains as it was. The coinage is still littering the floor like a field of stars, though they aren't covered in dust like they were before.
Phrixus would probably close the tombs on the 2 that were open, and then, good the rest of the way.
All right. Well, in that case, if nobody has anything else they would like to do, I'll put us back onto the Hex Grid. Any minute now. There it goes.
To the cliffs of solitude.
So, thanks to your buff, thanks to your blessing from Habakkuk, you still do move unhindered by the rough environment that is the Northern Wastes. So you would be able to make it to your next destination within a day. However, I will need survival checks.
I can do those.
I do water.
Assist with the map making thing.
I do bad at water.
Give me. Oof.
I just rolled a d20 instead of a survival check for some reason. I don't know why. 16?
Okay. Do give me another survival check.
That time I rolled properly.
Oh, you forgot to say. Though it really doesn't matter with that score. But why not? It is an advantage. Relatively consistent. All right. Now let's see here.
Change to wasteland.
Oh yes, change to wasteland, please.
Oh, yeah.
Laffy, please roll for me 1d10. All right, so your journey in the wash today is easy and relaxed thanks to the fact that the wash is low. The waters do not fill the trenches and allow for maximum ease of travel.
Minimized it, Jacob. Unminimize. It pauses when you minimize.
My bad. Is that better?
Yep.
Cool.
All right, now I need to roll one of these. Not only is the wash low today, allowing for incredible ease of movement, you are not accosted by any wildlife or red dragon ne'er-do-wells. You can peaceably travel through the dust.
What was good?
Yeah, the dust and heat of the northern wastes, avoiding any conflict whatsoever, and no one disrupts you. This will allow you to arrive at the region of very, very large spire-like plateaus that dot a peninsular outcrop into the ocean. And it is within this region of strange tower-like not peninsulas, plateaus, that you eventually reach what was described to you as a strange tower perched on a cliff overlooking the ocean.
It's Wackenreth.
Wackenreth 2!
This is the half that went to the Feywild.
Okay. Amid the natural stone formations of the northern wastes, a broken 100-foot spire lies half buried. The massive spire's base and toppled pinnacle would be easy to miss were it not for the excavation sites and abandoned tents surrounding them. You're about a 10-minute jaunt over to this location. You are looking at the submerged tower and the excavation camp sprawled around it. What would you like to do?
What type of... Are there people at the camp, or just like a camp?
From here, it certainly does look to be abandoned. You don't see anyone moving around it.
Free camp. Or the tower ate them. Do the tents look like the Sylvanesti slowly inching the way across the wasteland?
No, these tents do not look to be elven in design.
Should we approach cautiously then?
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry, what time of day did we get here?
Evening.
Evening.
I cast light.
You cast light, a bright beacon amid the warm reds of the gently setting sun in the distance.
Well, a little less clandestine, but
Well, let's investigate, shall we? I
indeed.
step down towards it.
All right. You descend into the shallow the shallow valley that this tower rests in, and approach the camp directly. No one raises an alarm. There's no note of your coming, no fanfare of your footfalls as you step through the rough periphery of this scattered camp. And it is when you are passing through it that you see the distinct markings of the Red Dragon Army. The 5-clawed markings of Takesis proudly emblazoned on several tents that are as dilapidated as the rest of them.
So
It is
this was their camp originally, or they took over the camp? From what I can-
these tents are among the other tents arrayed around, so it could be either.
Okay.
Now, what you also see is that there are large clawed footfalls in the ground. Some of them roughly human in size, while others are nearly twice that. You've seen enough Draconians and tracked them enough times to recognize these markings. The Red Dragon Army has certainly been here. They're lizard-like monstrosities present. Or dragon-like monstrosities. I think they'd be insulted if I called them lizards.
Why would they leave their tents?
That's a good question.
Maybe they just have terrible tents.
They're not easy to come by in the middle of the wasteland. You'd think you'd travel with them to keep your army sheltered.
Maybe they're all sleeping in the tower?
Could be they got what they wanted and moved on as well.
Why leave the tents
Yeah,
behind?
it's true. Why would you leave the tents?
That's a great question.
What that tells me is something happened to them.
Can I roll a survival check to see if there is more people who have come into this camp than have left this camp in the last little bit?
Yeah, give me a survival check. Whew. All right. So, it takes some time walking around the camp and making note of all recordable footfalls and traffic. And you do note that there was at least 30 to 40 people stationed here when it was at its most dense capacity. You do know that a significant amount of these people must have left at one point. You can see that a significant amount did leave, but you do see there's enough footprints here that there was a sizable garrison that must have stayed. But they're not present in the camp, clearly.
I think you're right, Josephine. I don't like this.
Furthermore, investigating the camp and looking for these footprints, your party does find several things. An overturned wheelbarrow, within which is a discarded suit of armor, leather, emblazoned with Takesis' symbol. You also find a collection of 20 shovels and several half-eaten rations that account to at least one day's worth of meat for one person.
This is very strange.
It's almost like they just got wiped out.
Is there any sign of like struggle or?
With that 20 survival check, I would have let you know.
It's almost as if they vanished. We should investigate that tower.
Indeed.
Maybe that's how you get vanished, though.
Well, we need to find out what happened here one way or another.
Well, you can see that the entrance to the tower appears to be a tunnel carved into the ground up to what was once what could have been a balcony or window or deck, and that proceeds into a dark room. The tower is half buried, and the pinnacle of which does appear to be several levels that are more open, with viewing decks and canopies, which you could attempt to reach by climbing. But those appear to be the only ways in.
The logical solution here is that they all went into the tower or scouting for some kind of mission, but what doesn't make sense is that not a single soul is left behind to watch the camp.
I agree.
Shall we go in to see what this place is all about?
Yeah,
That would make the most sense.
do we think we go in the front door, or do we go in the balconies?
I can't imagine it would matter. I don't think anyone's here.
You think they're all dead, don't you?
Not dead, but not here.
Well, where would they be?
I don't know.
The Shadowfell? The moon?
And at this point, after what we've experienced, it really could be anything. This place is anything but a wasteland.
Down that cliff over there?
I can't imagine they all would have gone down that cliff. I'm laughing. If I were to hazard a guess, the tower could have done something to them. After what we've experienced in that other one, we know this place is laced with magic. And what Dalinar said. There is something interfering with this place. And if we're to do good by him, and to potentially find out where this lost city is, which could lead us to the City of Lost Names, we may need to go into this place.
Indeed.
Alright, someone first who's not me.
Well,
Oh, I have all these shiny new cloaks, so
Oh, that reminds me.
go ahead,
Yeah.
you.
Real health again.
Oh, did it recover?
I hit long rest.
No, I'm saying did Alaffi's reduced health recover?
Yes, it did. It did.
Okay, good. Just didn't know if I needed to burn a curse removal or restoration. Alright, so Frix is first then.
Indeed.
This
All right.
fancy Frix's cloak.
The wasteland music made this extra spooky.
The yeah, it's interesting because he is a Order of the Red Robes mage wearing white Order robes now.
Yeah,
That's okay.
we almost gave the White Order robes to the Black Order mage too.
Mhm.
True.
Well, to be fair, they're not robes. It's a cloak
They're
of
cloak.
protection.
Yeah. And before he had like some kind of quarter cloak type thing going on with his armor. So this goes probably over that.
Sure.
Now, I do note it is 10:42. How late would people like to go?
I'm probably good to end before 11 if possible. Or at 11.
Yeah, this is a good like stopping point, I think.
If we're about to enter something, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And I need to
think-
read how magic items work with hexblade things. So
All
I've
right.
been a little distracted a little. So
So then we
Get
will end this
power.
session. Oh, we will end this session with our party looking down at a ramp of packed clay descending from the surface through a gap in the ancient stone wall, emerging into a chamber thick with dust and old air. And that is where we will resume our session potentially next week in our game of Dragonlance. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this week, and I look forward to terrifying everyone next week.
Oh no.
Oh no. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody.